Welcome to the January 14th, 2025 City Council meeting. Roll call, please.
Mayor Webb.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Lucuro.
Here.
Councilmember Rondo.
Here.
Councilmember Sullivan.
Here.
Councilmember Washington.
Here.
And we need a motion to approve the revised agenda.
Move approval of the agenda as revised.
Second.
Changes, discussion, extension. Hearing none, we have an agenda. We have a proclamation honoring Martin Luther King Jr.
You read it?
Go ahead, my eyes are not working today.
City of Hazel Park Proclamation, a proclamation honoring Martin Luther King Jr. Whereas this body rightfully honors those Americans whose lives create a cultural and spiritual touch point for people across the world, whose legacies embody the very concepts of justice, truth, and equality. And whereas Martin Luther King Jr., being one such American, is duly honored in this chamber on this day. And whereas Martin Luther King Jr. was born on January 15th, 1929, in Atlanta, Georgia, and was tragically killed April 4th, 1968, in Memphis, Tennessee. And whereas Dr. King's life traces the very firmament of the struggle for equal rights, a struggle that is very much ongoing more than 50 years after his death. And whereas, from his education at Morehouse College and Boston University to his courageous civil rights work, including the Montgomery bus boycott of 1955, to the March on Washington in 1965, to the historic march from Selma to Montgomery in 1965, Dr. King served as a relentless testament to the human spirit's unceasing desire for freedom and equality. And whereas, now more than ever, Dr. King's belief in change through nonviolence and his unwavering desire to see a world sweltering with the heat of oppression transformed into an oasis of peace and justice is as prudent and necessary as it has ever been. And whereas, now more than ever, Dr. King's dream is a necessary lesson to all people across the country, including here in our own city, who seek to pursue a life unmarred by the scourge of prejudice. And whereas on Monday, January 20th, 2025, we'll commemorate Dr. Martin Luther King. So it is rightful that this body commends and acknowledges his life and legacy. And whereas in doing so, council members urge all Hazel Park residents to recommit themselves to the lessons Dr. King preached more than half a century ago. Therefore, be it resolved, the City of Hazel Park, the members of the City Council hereby honor the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King and urge all Hazel Park residents to shape their lives by those holy tenets of kindness, peace, and equality.
The proclamation is made. Takes us to civic announcements. Anyone in public have any civic announcements they'd like to come up with? See a lot of Lions Club members here. I didn't know if there was any civic announcements. No? Anyone else? See no one? Close civic announcements. City Council have any? Okay.
Go Lions.
Yeah, go Lions. Public discussion. Open up public discussion. We have Renee Nuwash.
Good evening. My name is Manai Nawash, and I live. That's okay. I live at 551 East Myers. I actually moved to Hazel Park, and some of the reasons why I did is because of the wonderful community I've met coming here for asking for you to say something for a ceasefire in Gaza. Also, the City Council to me has done so many good things since I've been coming to these meetings. I can tell. Sorry, that's why I don't speak too much, because I don't like to be so emotional, but I can tell you all have good hearts, and you've been doing so many good things. And it made me want to move here. So, but I don't understand. I still don't understand why you can't take 2 minutes to say 2 sentences to show who you are. And we know people here in the audience might not understand why we're speaking about Gaza, but we know our tax dollars go there. And so we are responsible. Each one of us is responsible to speak out and to say something. What did Israel use our tax dollars on this month? To kidnap a very successful doctor who has been saving lives in Gaza. Why would they kidnap a doctor? Only you can answer that. What could the money have been used for instead? Well, we know what is happening in LA, all the fires, and the fire department was, a lot of funding was taken away. They said $700 million went to Israel that could have gone to the fire department and to help LA. So these are the things that are happening with our tax dollars. And I ask you once again to reconsider, to say something. Take 2 minutes and say something. Thank you.
Thank you. Mike Flores.
Buenas noches. Good evening. Feliz Año Nuevo. My name is Mike Flores on Paddington Avenue from the city of Troy. I will read an email I sent to Council with no response on December 11th, 2024. Dear Council, I'm writing to you once again, urging you to support a ceasefire resolution that reflects the values of our city and acknowledges the deep connection between Hazel Park, our first responders, and the Palestinian people. After the December 10th City Council meeting, I had the privilege of speaking with family members of first responders who were promoted and recognized for their extraordinary service to our community. These families thanked us for our comments advocating for peace and ceasefire. In turn, I thank them for the courage of their son, who puts his life on the line every day to keep Hazel Park safe. When I asked why the ceasefire resonated with them, they shared something deeply personal. They are Palestinian. Knowing the sacrifices their son makes to protect the city while our tax dollars fund violence abroad was heartbreaking. Yet, they express gratitude for the community they serve, even as they feel invisible when it comes to pleas of peace. This conversation reinforces what I have long believed. The genocide abroad has a direct connection to our city. The intersectionality between our community and the suffering of innocent people around the world becomes clearer every single day. During the discussion, the family matriarch asked if the city had passed similar resolutions in the past. I shared that Hazel Park had previously passed symbolic resolutions and made statements acknowledging the Holocaust, the Armenian genocide, and the Ukrainian-Russian war. Her response was a simple but piercing truth. No one sees our humanity. No one sees our humanity. This response has stayed with me, waking me up at 3 o'clock in the morning to draft this email. How is it possible that we ask and demand our first responders to be heroes every single day in Hazel Park, but we can't reciprocate by passing a resolution that recognizes their humanity and the humanity of their loved ones? Hazel Park has always been a city that values courage, integrity, and community. Supporting a ceasefire resolution would honor those principles. It would show that we stand with our first responders and their families, acknowledging the pain and recognizing the ripple effects of our actions abroad. So I ask you, will Hazel Park lead with empathy and justice as it has in the past? Will this council pass a ceasefire resolution that reflects the values of peace, humanity, and solidarity that our city holds so dear? As always, Mayor and Council, gracias, and thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Anyone else for public discussion? It's open mic. Hearing no one, seeing no one. Close public discussion. Motion to approve the consent agenda 1 through 11, Council.
I move that we approve the consent agenda items 1 through 11, but I'd like to pull items 6 for discussion.
Okay, and anyone have any
Support.
comments on?
Support, Hanson, say second.
Okay. Anybody have any comments on item 7? We all apprised of that situation?
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure. All right, motion's passed. Question to bring item 6 off the table for discussion. Councilman Londo.
If I could actually get Serene up to discuss that item for council's edification as well as the public.
Happy New Year and good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
We've been working on the recreation plan for 6 months here. That is a 5-year strategic plan that gives us the opportunity to apply for grants. And throughout this process, we've collected public input, and we've collected actually a lot of public input, which has been great from the community. I'd like to thank Oakland County Parks for funding this grant. And thank you to Giffords and Webster, and specifically Joe Tangari, who has worked on this project. I can take any questions that you would like.
I actually didn't have a question. I just wanted to recognize that a master plan takes hundreds and hundreds of hours, labor, blood, sweat, and tears. It is not a small undertaking, and Serene's absolutely right that a master plan allows you to access grants and funding opportunities that wouldn't otherwise be available if you don't have that document on file. And a lot of cities go through just like the performative stuff of developing like a very, very bare bones master plan just to check that box. But I had the pleasure of poring over the document that you, as well as members of the Parks and Rec Advisory Council and others created, and to call it a work of art would be an understatement. So I just wanted to pull it for discussion and recognize you and your team and give you your flowers, because it is just really exceptional.
Thank you so much. And I did forget to acknowledge my board, the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board, and their hard work as well.
We do have a few members here today.
We do. There is Tina Caudell and Jared Gajos. And we do have Simon from Oakland County Parks. And this is a good team, and we enjoyed ourselves, and we gathered a lot of input that otherwise we wouldn't have had. So I'm thankful for the document, and we do have Joe Tangari, of course, from Giffords and Webster. So we're moving forth, and yeah, we just got so much public input, so that's a wonderful thing. So thank you.
Thank you, Serene, and thank you to Amanda Taylor as well.
And thank you to my Assistant Recreation Director, Amanda Taylor.
Well, Serene, could you offer us a few highlights of what's coming up for the public?
Sure. So we're always looking to improve our parks and improve the infrastructure in our parks and improve programming. And we've gathered information from the public, and we see that basically we would like to continue to work on upgrading infrastructure in parks, continue to apply for grants and get funding for these projects, and more special events, and basically increasing awareness of our parks to the community, especially the pocket parks that are spread out throughout the community that may not be known to the public. So putting up signage that increases awareness, things of this nature, native plantings. Yeah, so these are our plans, and I greatly look forward to the future.
Thank you.
Thank you. I was out at Oakland County last night, and I talked to a few commissioners. We were talking about some of our park and playground equipment, and they're going to see if they can find some funding to help replace some of our antiquated playground equipment in the small parks. So probably the next budget.
Wonderful. And they've already been so generous, so we're very thankful.
Thank you.
I also want to thank you and thank the rec department. Amanda and you make a great team. Also our Parks Association, or group rather. And also I just want to say thank you so much for continuing to seek that public feedback and that public input, because it is so important. We sit up here and we get a lot of feedback of this isn't being done, but maybe it's not provided to the department that needs to know it needs to get done. So it's really important for the public to interact with these things, and I really appreciate how easy you guys are making it and how hard the city's working to make it more accessible to more people to participate. So thank you for that.
Thank you, and I was very grateful for how much feedback we actually got, so that was kind of incredible.
Yeah, we were. I think even Oakland County was pleasantly surprised by the amount of feedback that we got. So we did get a lot of people who participated and let us know what they wanted. And, we're listening. Serene's been listening. We've got a yoga class coming up. We're beta testing a TRX fitness class with our employees. If that's successful, we'll offer that to the general public. We've got more programming on the way, but people need to support that programming and sign up for it so we can continue to offer these good classes and fun things to do. So, and obviously with the renovation of the pole barn, that will create more space and allow us to even offer some more things. So, I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I actually had people reach out to me about the yoga class, and they were very excited. They were both talking about how they were going to sign up for it, and they don't live here in the city, which is also really awesome. And that's another reminder that these are not resident exclusive programs. So if you see something on our calendar, reach out, sign up, RSVP, get in there. These are good classes.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've had renovations in the community center, and we're still slated to continue to renovate the community center that we currently have. Senior programming that's with Ferndale as well. And yeah, we invite everyone, and we're very thankful.
And our Junior Vikings program with the schools, very successful year with football. One of them went to one of the teams went to the championship. Wrestling is going on, and that's being run very well, and that's successful so far. So there's a lot of cool things going on. And we're going to continue to work hard to make sure we keep bringing new things. And thank you, Serene.
Yep. And if anyone has any further public input, please feel free to call us, come in, email. We're always around. We'll answer your questions. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions on items 1 through 11?
Appreciate the indulgence, Your Honor.
No problem. That was great indulgence. Thank you. Good comments. Let's go to the administrative reports. Seeing none, reappointments and appointments to the Hazel Park Recreation and Board Advisory. Anyone?
Get it here.
Do you appoint, or does
I
this
can
require a
appoint
motion?
right here.
Mr. Mayor, the administration is respectfully requesting the appointments of Charles Lassay and David Montesseri, a.k.a. Slasher Dave, and the reappointments of Tina Cottle, Amanda Klein, and Jared Gajos to the Recreation Advisory Committee.
So moved. Anything else on that particular issue while we're there?
I love that part of the official record. It makes me happy.
I mean,
Slasher Dave.
Slasher Dave.
Well, if we didn't call him Slasher Dave, then, oh, yes, I have one more.
Linda's talking about.
The appointment of Linda Morato to the Hazel Park Arts Council.
Also, the Arts Council recommends approval of this appointment, please.
So move.
Thanks.
Beautiful. Any other people we want to put on board? So we need some DDA members.
We do. I'll bring you some names.
We know anybody we need?
I will bring you some names if council has any
Right,
names or
well,
anything like that. There are some restrictions for that board
Yes.
in terms of appointment.
Requirements.
But if anybody has, we also have a couple vacancies, I believe, on the planning commission as well. So if you have any good names, please bring them to my attention and begin the process. I do have a couple, I think, for the DDA that might be a good fit. So I'll bring those names to you at the next meeting.
I think it was not long after I joined this body that the city put out like a social post just saying like, are you interested in helping
Yeah.
out? Please, visit the website and look at the boards and commissions. Maybe we could do that again on our.
We'll do that again.
We
Yep.
probably should mail a letter to our business owners because a lot of it requires a lot of business.
Yeah,
owners to be
DDA
on.
is much more
And it's like 20%
restrictive,
resident
but
owners. Two residential people in the community and then one liaison plus business owners, if I remember right. It takes the old business. Anyone, no old business, new business? Anybody have any new business on the council they want to bring up for future meetings or anything? Any comments? Communications from department heads. We have a lot of them here. Anybody in the department heads back there have any comments they want to bring to the new year?
What's up, Chief?
Chief Hamel.
Happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New Year.
Being that we're starting the 2025, I'd like to just mention some things about our department crime stats from 2024. I just wanted to indicate that overall the number of crimes that have been reported have decreased within the city over 2024. Assaults that include domestic assaults have decreased by 12%. Our residential burglaries have decreased by 25%. Larcenies from automobiles, they've decreased by 33%, which is a good number, but I still have a concern over larcenies when it comes to guns. I think I've said this before. People are leaving their guns in their cars and they're not being secured. And that's a concern that I have. And I just want to remind gun owners that they will be held criminally responsible if an unsecured gun falls in the hands of a juvenile who injures or kills someone. So it's the responsibility of people to secure their guns. Don't leave them in the cars. We have also seen an increase in weapons violations, more likely carrying concealed weapon violations while intoxicated. That's increased by 47%. The fact is that more people are eligible in obtaining CPL permits, but they don't recognize the responsibilities that they all have with these permits. So that's our one increase that I've seen. In 2024, we've also took 496 car crash reports, which is a large number. We're seeing over one accident every day. People need to just start driving carefully. I do have officers out there. We're doing our part in traffic enforcement. The public, the driving public, they need to do their part in driving safely.
Can I pause you on that particular comment?
Sure.
How many of those are on the freeway?
That I don't have that particular number for you. I just gathered the total number.
I'd like to see those numbers and see if we can look at the projections of what an actual cost to the city is on the freeway, and we can go after, make some comments to the state and the county about some of these costs, or maybe get some reimbursements.
Well, what I can tell you this, though, is that if there is an accident on the freeway, we do defer to the state police.
Right.
So we'll hold a scene until they get there. By and large, we don't take too many accidents that have occurred on the freeway. We will assist the state police. They will ask us for assistance. So I could tell you that those numbers are low from our vantage point.
Well, the state's kind of stingy with their funding. So.
They can be. They can be. I also want to show that our officers had logged over 858 probable cause and arrest warrant arrests. And our total calls for services for the year of 2024 were 27,628. Those are calls for services that not just our officers handle, but our records and our dispatch people handle on a yearly basis. So those are just some of the quick numbers. Like I said, we're showing a decrease in crime stats. But those service runs are not just crimes; those are just actually service runs. Our officers are out there unlocking cars. We're checking houses. We're checking parks. They're asked to log every time they do something like that to put it in a log. One of the things before I finish up that I want to point out, I did see something in the news recently. It's out of Isabella County. The Isabella County Sheriff's millage, they had a millage and that didn't pass. As a result of that, the Sheriff's Department had to lay off 25 road deputies. The sheriff and undersheriff in the news reports were the only two officers in the county that would be available to respond to runs. Because of that, the state police is trying to augment in that road patrols. And when I looked at that, it reminded me that the city of Hazel Park, we had some bad times. The city manager has talked about that, and I've experienced that with him. And tough decisions have been made. But when we came to the residents and asked for millages, the residents here came through, and that's very important. I want to indicate that when Isabella County does come around and they're able to provide funding and bring back officers, it's going to be a tough time for them because they're going to have to train these officers again, and they've lost out on a lot of experience. And that's going to be really tough for them to come back from. So again, I'm thankful for the residents here that have recognized the need for public safety, and we don't take that lightly with the police department. So that being said, I hope we all have a better 2025.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
Any other department heads like to come up and make any comments?
Hi, good evening. Wanted to let you guys know.
Lacey Christensen, Finance Director, Deputy City Manager.
Finance Director
Deputy City Manager.
of the Year. Of the year.
Of the year. Finance Director of the
Director
Year.
of the Year. Self-appointed, but it still counts. So before you, I put something very near and dear to my soul, this financial statement.
Yeah, we saw it.
Yeah, it's months of accounting work wrapped up in storybook form. So while I jest about how interesting this is, I realize that not everybody loves or loves finances like I do, but every decision you guys make for the community or residents, even our employees, comes down to this book. Mm-hmm. We did well this year as a city. A couple things to point out really quickly. There are some things that look a little different. We did close out the ice arena. We sold it in June of 23, but we closed it. We actually closed the fund out and transferred it to the general fund in 24. So there's a little bit of inflation there. We had the ARPA grant we closed out, $800,000, which is great, but that money is now gone. We had a lot of other grants. All of these department heads are running many, many grants for the city, for the residents. The pole barn, we have a lot of fire grants, police grants. Jimmy runs many for the betterment. So some of that money is reflected in here as revenue. And then the last thing I have written down is the pension grant. A pension grant wasn't a cash flow thing. It went right directly to MERS, but they did require us to gross up the revenue, and they also grossed up the expenditures. So you had to take the normal pension amounts and allocate the 12 million or 13 million to the different departments. So you'll see, if you compare it to prior years, all the departments are very high compared to what they would be. It's a little inflated. I wasn't in love with the way they wanted us to do it because it's a one-year inflation, but I understand. So if you have any other questions, I don't know if we'll have another meeting, probably a study session around budget time, and we can talk about this, but if you have any questions in the meantime, just reach out to my office.
And again, I want to thank you for all of your hard work. We had this done. You had your part done well in advance this time, and thank you. Yes, you are Finance Director.
Thank you.
And we were able to get this done, and it was a successful year. But as we go throughout the year, I think Lacey and I are going to spend some more time educating mayor and council and our employee groups and the residents about how municipal finance really works, so that everybody understands, yes, things are good now, but there's always the possibility that things could become problematic again in the future. And so much of it depends on what happens in Lansing. And I was glad they had a revenue estimating conference, and their revenues were a little higher than they expected, which is a good thing. But we always have to keep our eye on what's going on in Lansing because it's so critical to what's happening here. And while we did get a bailout for the pension system, which Lacey and I actually went and lobbied and knocked on doors and spoke to senators and representatives in Lansing with former Chief Buchholz and a few others, and that was successful. That just got us to 60% funding.
Yep.
So it was very critical to us, but we now have a plan in place, and we have a graph that we will show you where we will actually are projecting to get to 100% funded by the mid-2030s.
2034, yep.
Yep. So
But in the meantime, our monthly contributions continue to go up.
Go up.
Between 3 to 5 million a year.
Yeah, health care insurance goes up.
That does. That is
Every year.
Yes, and we are self-insured, and yes, and that we take that on as well.
that is another serious area of increase. So, again.
Well, thank you for bringing us to our attention.
Yes.
We'll be happy to read these in the next few
Reading,
weeks.
yes, and please call me with any
Sure, we can
riveting
have you a
finds
comment
you
or two
have.
in the next couple.
Yes, there's lots of good information.
Maybe you can help me increase my sleep hours. No, I'm just kidding.
Thank you, Lacey. Any other,
Chief Thomas Walker.
Happy New Year to you guys.
New Year.
First off, I want to thank you guys for the emergency approval of the HVAC and circulation pump for our station. The station did get heat back finally today, so the guys are happy over there. We finished the year last year with 3,367 runs. That's up roughly 23 runs from the year before. We still are considered the busiest fire department in Oakland County by manpower. We still hold that record. This upcoming month of March, we're going to do a CPR class for any citizen who would like to come out and learn CPR. It'll be at the station. Just call the station and sign up. A reminder that our bowling event is February 22nd at 3 p.m. And as for, Mr. Mayor, your question about MVA runs on the freeway, I could probably get you that information.
that would be nice.
I'll pull the report.
Like
and
City
give it to you.
Council, we need to know that. Maybe we can have some influence somewhere and maybe get a portion of this maybe recovered down the road.
Yeah, I'll pull the our run report.
Costs us every year.
It's down there.
Thank you.
Okay, that's all I have.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other department heads wishing to speak? Oh, don't, come on.
Oh, what a rare
Oh,
treat.
yeah, no, kidding. Thank you for coming up.
Of course. Thank you for having me. Two things. First, I'm acting as
Jared Gagos.
Jared Gagos,
Human
Director of
Resources
Human
Director and Special Projects Coordinator.
Of the year.
Of the year.
I can't compete with Lacey. There's no way. Two things. I'm going to act as Recreation Advisory Board. I want to say thank you to our rec partners and to Serene and her team. The rec plan was a huge undertaking. We think the plan is really going to deliver for the community. I know a lot of people have had questions, but we took in over hundreds of reviews from the community, people attending 2 separate days to come voice their opinions. So we really factored that into what we hope to see in the parks these upcoming years. And especially in the upcoming pole barn project, right? We want to make sure that we're having accessibility, senior citizen, disabilities factored in and stuff. And then, like they said, we're going to be seeing, greenery increases, wayfinding signs, more accessibility to the parts of the park we may not be able to reach already. So all good things. Good job, Recreation. And then 2, I'm going to act as my nonprofit, not as HR today. I want to give a shout out to the 43rd District Court, Hazel Park Division, specifically Jessica Godwin, our Chief Probation Officer. She came to me about 6-ish months ago and asked about what my group does. So we are the Alliance of Coalitions for Healthy Communities. I'm the Vice President. And so we focus on harm reduction, substance abuse, and wellness for anyone in Oakland County. Frequently, we partner with Oakland County Sheriff's Department and Oakland County Health Network, but Jess really wanted to see what we could do here to increase awareness for wellness and mental health for our residents, but specifically for the nonviolent offenders. So it was announced in C&G, but she launched a treatment program to kind of help those who are facing misdemeanor charges for operating while intoxicated or operating while under the influence of said drug, to kind of send them through a treatment program, right? That 90 days to certain amounts depending on where they are in the 5 phases that come with the program. So this was a huge undertaking for her in the court. The judge are working together with our treatment providers to see where we can go in partnership. And this is one thing I really want to point out is a lot of people think that the court or the PD or the fire don't care about our citizens, but as we can see, they're providing services for them to see what is the main underlying cause for, several misdemeanor charges, what can we do to better the community and things like that. So I just wanted to give my kudos to the court and to Jessica Godwin and to the judge for not just partnering with us, but providing these services for all the residents that come into the city.
And Jared, you shouldn't shortchange yourself and your role in that either, because she approached you and you played a very large role in making that happen.
I just sent an email.
Thanks to, but you are the vice, but you are the vice chair of that. organization. So when you send an email, it has just a little bit of clout.
Yeah, thank you.
Were you or were you not recently recognized by someone for your nonprofit leadership?
I was, yes.
Jared was recently recognized by Crane's Detroit Magazine as one of the leaders in Metro Detroit for nonprofit management because of his leadership role on that board.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. But yeah, so anyone that ever wants to partner with us, we cover Oakland County, but we also do the whole state of Michigan. So Jess Godwin is one example of that, and we look forward to our partnership with her. So thank you guys. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing that service to our community. That's a big deal.
Any more department heads? Don't all jump up as fast as Jared did.
Are there any left?
No, that's it. That's all we got.
Wait.
Just kidding.
Amanda.
All right, Jimmy, you're next.
Hi, Amanda Mason, Code Cannabis City Attorney. So we, not as exciting as everybody else's news, but unfortunately we have not had a very good turnout with businesses plowing with the snow situation that we've recently had. This hasn't been as big of a snowstorm as we typically have, but it was a little shocking to drive up down John R. and see our walkability was very compromised. And we, per SEMCOG data, are a very walkable community. We have a higher percentage. And so we did do a roundup with respect to tickets and things like that. So just a friendly reminder to our business owners that this is a walkable community. You do have a duty to get rid of the accumulation within 24 hours of the snow falling. So that's just a friendly reminder. And then I did want to say, on a happier note, the Senior Tour program is up and running, has been. Linda Morano was the genius behind that program, and myself and then DPW kind of all coordinate to now implement, and we get to do the fun stuff. She gets to do all the work behind the scenes, and we get to actually interact with the residents and the people. But I did want to say a special thanks to Chief Walker, especially after hearing that we are the busiest department in Oakland County. He did go out yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yesterday with me, almost immediately within an hour of me asking to install fire detectors in one of our senior tour program homes, and it was just a wonderful thing. He felt very special to have the chief of fire right there in his home, and it's a great program, and I'm really excited to be a part of it. So thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Move us to our city attorney.
Happy New Year, everyone.
New Year.
2025 is going to be the best year ever.
Sorry.
It is.
We're-
It's going to be the best year ever.
Or else.
Spit it out.
City manager?
I always say Michigan system of municipal finance is fundamentally broken, so I'll get that out of the way. But I want to say today you've heard from some of my department heads, and I hired this team, and I am extremely proud of the work that they do every day for the city of Hazel Park. I'm extremely proud of them. I'm extremely proud of their employees. And I hope that you, Mr. Mayor, and members of council are proud as well of them for the work that they do on your behalf. And I hope the people watching at home are proud as well. You get to see a little glimpse of what they do every day to try to make things better for the people in Hazel Park. And as you can see, we're a busy little community. We are densely populated, and there's a lot of work for our police, fire, water department, public works, recreation department, planning department, city hall, everyone. There's work enough to do, and my department heads, who I'm very proud of. I think that's one of my good legacies, are some of the hires that I've made here. And I thank them for their efforts. Jimmy didn't speak, but Jimmy's working very hard on planning issues. Linda's not here, but she is the one who did do the senior chore grant, and she just finished the reporting on that yesterday. And so thank you to those two. I'm trying to see if there's anybody else that I've missed. And while I sit here, I see in the audience Mr. Joe Tangari, who was our planning consultant on the recreation plan 12, 13 years ago. Joe was an intern in my planning office back then, and look at what a success he's made of himself now. So I'm grateful that so many people that the city of Hazel Park has had a hand in mentoring have gone on to do such amazing things. So that's all I have. And I hope that Melissa Schwartz is right. I hope that 2025 is the best year yet.
Thank you.
Go Lions. Sorry, Green Bay fans. There are a few of you in the room. The Lions are still alive, and the Packers are not.
Councilperson Sullivan.
Can you go to somebody else first? Because I'm looking
Sure.
up at email address.
Councilperson
Sorry.
Londo.
Listen, Ed, it just wasn't Green
I
Bay.
knew that was slanted at you, Yooper. Guys like the Green Bay Packers.
I have the pleasure of rooting for the Lions 15 games out of the year. Just not the 2 games they play my Packers. That said, Green Bay's out of the playoffs, which makes my allegiance a little bit easier. So go Lions.
Yes.
Very, very excited. Simon Rivers is here. I just want to say thank you for coming out, visiting us from Oakland County. Jared had stole my thunder a little bit, but from one Cranes honoree to another, congratulations for notable nonprofit board leaders. The Cranes nominations every year are hyper competitive, so to have Jared receive that award is just really, really major and just great recognition for the city. Munai, thank you for moving to Hazel Park. I was not aware that you had relocated here. I know public comment is just kind of like an interesting dynamic in general because everybody gets to speak to us, but it's not Q&A. We just kind of sit here and absorb the information that's presented to us. But I just wanted to say that you always approach us with such a kind heart, and it's really, really appreciated. And I genuinely believe that your level of civic engagement is something that all of our residents could emulate. So thank you for coming and planting your flag in our community. It's always a pleasure to have you here and see you, and I'm grateful that you're going to be here, hopefully, for many more meetings to come. And crimes are down, so I just wanted to give Chief Hamill a shout-out. I choose to give you all the credit and not your predecessor, so thank you for making that happen. And again, go Lions. Thanks, Your Honor.
Thank you. Councilperson Washington.
I'm next, but I did a little math when Chief said that they had 27,000 calls, incidents. That's 73 a day on average. I was amazed. I was like, oh, okay. I was truly mind blown. I, as always, wanted to thank Mirai and Mike for coming and speaking today. And I just want to say, you're okay to cry. I cry on this dais regularly. So do not feel ashamed in that, in showing your emotion, because I'm with you in the tears. So, yes, publish the Equal Rights Amendment. We are so close. Happy New Year, everyone. And thank you for coming out.
Thank you. Councilperson Sullivan.
I'm back on it now. Thank you. Thanks for the pause. I'm sorry about that. I want to start by wishing everyone a Happy New Year and also say go Lions to echo everybody else. I also want to welcome and thank Linda for stepping back into the hat wearing of Hazel Park Art Fair and Arts Council. She is such a resource to this community and really such a resource to the Arts Council. So we're super excited to have her back. Also wanted to remind everybody that the Hazel Park Art Fair will be this August. It's always the 4th weekend in August. And we are currently seeking art fair sponsors. If you're interested in sponsoring, you can email info@hpart.org. Also, I wanted to remind everybody to check your smoke detector and carbon monoxide detector batteries, especially in these extra low temperatures. Also remind people to unplug space heaters when not in use and don't use outdoor heaters indoors. It is unsafe, it is a fire hazard, and it also is a carbon monoxide hazard. Snow removal, I want to reiterate what Amanda Mason, our attorney, said there. You are responsible for clearing your snow. You are responsible, and you will be ticketed. Please remove your snow. Make it safe for everybody. Not everybody has the ability to walk over clumps of ice, clumps of snow. So please just help everybody stay safe. Also want to remind people, lock your cars when you are warming them up in the morning. That is the quickest way to get your things stolen, to get your vehicle stolen, to get burglarized. Lock your cars when you are warming them up, please. Give our guys a break on those 73 calls a day, for crying out loud. also, what was my last thing? Another thank you again to Oakland County and our rec department for all of their hard work. I am so excited to see this plan go into action. I also want to thank the people that came and spoke again. And I just, again, want to continue to reiterate that just because the City Council does not make the specific resolution that you are seeking does not mean that we haven't made a resolution or spoken on the atrocities happening in both Gaza and what happened to begin what is happening in Gaza. There is so much more to that situation, and it's not just a simple black and white situation. But also, I did want to call out something. We have never made a resolution for the war in Ukraine. We've never done that. We did hold a moment of silence, but we've not done a resolution for that. So that is some information I wanted to get out there. That's it. Thank you so much. Thanks for my long speech.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's really, we've had a great 2024, listening to the department heads and how things have gone. It's very nice to hear that the crime statistics are continuing to decrease, especially great to hear that the domestic violence is decreasing. And on that note, if you love somebody, tell them. If you have children, hug them every day and tell them you love them. And I want to thank everybody for coming out and participating in the democratic process. Have a happy new year and go Lions.
Lions.
That was quick.
You weren't ready.
I do want to say thank you again to everyone that come out this evening. I'd also like to thank our department heads for their engagement in keeping us all apprised of everything that happened in 2024. And hopefully it's a success and more successes in 2025 is to come. And I'd like to thank them one more time, all of our department heads and our city council, for being so community-minded and friendly towards everyone. We try here, as well as you can see it in our employees, trying to make it a very social, friendly community. And again, clean the sidewalks so we can all get around. That's something that we do here. We do pride ourselves on walking our community. I also want to say thank you to our rec department. Big undertaking. A lot of hours, has been said, and working on planning commission before I was on city council for years, and we did master plan there. We spent hours as volunteers as well as we'd had a firm at the time. Spent hours and months trying to put it together, and implementing it is a whole other issue as well. So good luck with that. And a happy new year. Go Lions. Let's be the better people we can be in 2025 than we were in 2024. Thank you.
Hey, Mr.
Motion
Mayor,
to adjourn.
you know what? I forgot one thing that I want the residents at home to know. Usually at our Christmas party, the department heads and we get together and we honor an employee. This year, for the first time, and it was kind of the consensus among everybody, we decided to honor the mayor and council. So because of all of your support for us and this community. So I want you to know, on behalf of the employees of the City of Hazel Park, we deeply appreciate the five of you. We know you don't do this for the money. So it's a labor of love and a commitment to something that is higher and beyond yourselves as individuals. And I want you to know, I think, I speak for all of my department heads here and the employees. Thank you.
I have one more comment before that. We do appreciate everything you've done for us, and we appreciate all the cards and sentiments. We do. I do have one more comment, if you just indulge me. I want to say thank you to the fire department and the police department and their unions for donating some money to a needy family that I ran across during the Christmas time. And when I saw the letter, they came into a place that I frequent. We have Christmas funds for families in need and seniors and everything. We ran across the letter, and the letter said from some of the children that this woman had taken on her sister's kids that witnessed their parents being killed during that year prior. And she didn't have a lot, and the kids didn't have a lot. And the letters the kids wrote was, all I want is bar soap. All I need is clothes. I want some new things so I can enjoy my life. I want some food. I want to have more to be able to be thankful for. And you read those letters and you look at around you and you see kids always asking for toys or some other insignificant thing that may be important to kids that have more. But to see the kids that don't have as much ask for these items, it pulls at your heartstrings. And I passed the message on to our fire and police unions and also to Ferndale's police and fire. They also contributed, and a lot of civic organizations also I got a hold of, and they contributed to this family. This family was well set up, hopefully, and they are able to have a really, really, really good Christmas. It was Hazel Park kids in our school district, and they just live across on the edge of Ferndale, and I consider that part of Hazel Park as well, with our children in mind. And I just wanted to pass that along, and I want to say thank you to everybody that did contribute for that cause, because Christmas is going to be joyful for those kids this year, no matter what, and hopefully in 2025 as well. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.